Greetings, I'm Barbara J. Faison, your mindfulness and meditation ambassador, with this episode of Conversations about Meditation. In this series, it is my intention to share conversations with various people across all lines of work and life about their practices and specifically meditation or mindfulness practices. Today, I will be talking with Ms. Ileane, who is also Ileane Smith. And if you know Ileane across the platform, she is known as Ms. Ileane. We're going to talk with her about her practices, meditation, and I know she does yoga. So stay tuned.
Well, thank you so much, Barb. And I wanted to, first of all, above everything, what I am is a single parent. I am my daughter Nicole. She's 35 years old, and when she was a little girl, I started at my day job. So I've been at the same job for 35 years.
Wow.
So
I remember seeing that on one of your feeds where you were being recognized, and that is just amazing.
Yes. So I love my day job, and I've never been one of those people that was like, quit your 9 to 5.
Yes.
That's not me.
Yeah,
But
yes.
if you got one that's working for you, you stick with it. But along the way, I got into this whole digital media thing with blogging and with podcasting, YouTube, and all of that. So that has brought me to the place where people have looked to me as a mentor and also as an instructor, because I teach what I learned.
Yes, yes. And you teach it so easily. You make it easy to digest. And that, I think, with technology is really important. So we thank you for that, because I discovered you on, I can't remember if it was Anchor or YouTube. I think it was YouTube first. Then I found you on Anchor. So I started stalking you on all the platforms. Like,
That's
yes, Miss
fun.
Ileane. Yes, Miss Ileane. Yes, yes. So
Yeah.
when I saw that you had a yoga room, I said, ding, 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 ding. I've got to talk to her and see what she does, what her practices are. And thus my conversations about meditation. So I just want to ask you a few questions, and I don't want to take up a lot of your time, but I want to just present people who are out here with practices for other people to know that it's not something that is woo woo or just woo, that is something that's practical, right? So how did you start meditating, and how long have you been meditating?
Well, when you mention yoga, that reminds me, I got to go back to the start of all this was with yoga.
Okay.
And I got introduced to something called hatha yoga. I don't know if that's one of the most popular ones now, because they so many different things. As a teenager in high school.
Wow.
So we are talking 1975, when I was in the 10th grade.
Wow.
Because I graduated in 77.
Yeah.
So I had already been introduced to the concept of the breath and how you can use the breath to get centered and to get focused. So I had, throughout the years, off and on, even on my journey of losing weight, gaining it back, I would always turn to yoga. Okay. Because yoga is also something that helps me to stretch out. So even when I couldn't really do a lot of physical activity, I've had both of my knees replaced. Wow. So even at certain times and that's very stressful, when you're in pain, every time you get up and walk around and you're like, wait, I'm still young. I should be able I should be able to walk to the store. But when I couldn't really exercise like I wanted to, I was still always able to turn back into the yoga. So now let's progress and talk a little bit more about the meditation. Believe it or not, in the most unlikely place, I got introduced to meditation, and I quickly recognized the link between yoga and meditation, but I got introduced to it on social media. Watching a live stream. There is a fella, and I don't remember his name. I've lost touch with him. because the platform that I used to watch him on is gone now, but it was Meerkat.
Okay.
And I think I also watched the same fella on Periscope a little bit, but he would have the candles lit,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like, the room would be dark, but he had a little bit of an accent. I
Okay.
can't remember. I think he was from a European country, and so he had this little bit of an accent. So the voice makes a strong connection with me
Mm-hmm.
too. As well as being a visual learner, I love to listen to people that have soothing voices like you, Barbara.
Thank
and
you.
and so this guy mesmerized me out of watching all these social media tutorials and how to and this, that, and the other live streaming, on this live streaming platform.
Uh-huh.
I found this one person that really had me mesmerized, and I found myself trying to go back and find that same meditation.
Okay.
And no, if you guys remember that site, it wasn't good with search and finding. So I kind of lost track of it, but
Mm-hmm.
I kept it in mind. And anytime I would see anything related to it, would catch my attention. So
Mm-hmm.
later on, I found this app called Stop, Breathe, and Think.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I think I saw a tweet or something like that, and that's how it came to my attention. So I started using that, and then that's when I started practicing more regularly.
Okay. Wonderful. Wonderful. So what's been one of the most surprising or surprising aspects of the practice of meditation? And I like to say practice because it is a practice, right?
What's been surprising to me is that I thought that I would be like bored, like
Hmm.
sit quietly. Like, who does that?
Yep. Yeah.
And I did not acknowledge that it was something that I needed to do
Mm.
until after doing it a few times. Because one of the things, and I don't use this app, Stop, Breathe, and Think anymore, but I do want to tell folks about it, because if you're just getting into it, you may want to start with this app, and you
Mm-hmm.
can't really see it, but
Mm-hmm.
they have really short meditations. They have 3 minute
Mm-hmm.
meditation, 5 minutes,
Okay.
and then you can work your way up.
Yeah.
So just doing it for the 3 minutes, I think, was probably the first couple of times when I started doing it regularly. And I thought, oh, wow, if I could feel this good for 3 minutes, I wonder how I would feel if I did it for 10 minutes. And then
Right, right.
they have some other ones that are longer. And so
Mm-hmm.
then after a while, I found another app, which is the one that I use today. I use every day, and it's called Calm.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Mm-hmm.
one word, CALM.
Yeah.
And I like the guided meditation. I've meditated on my own a few times, but
Mm-hmm.
I like the guided meditation. And let me tell you, this is a good time for me to tell you a story, because
Okay.
I swear the story just popped in my head. I had to have some dental work done,
Mm.
and this was really, I had to have it. I had this tooth that was all infected and all this all kind of stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they wanted to not only pull the tooth out, but also put what they call bone graft. I don't know if you ever saw that
Oh,
before. It looks like sand.
yeah,
This
yeah,
wasn't what I thought it was going to be, but anyway,
yeah.
I'm all ready. I'm like, okay, let's do this. Let's get it over with, because this pain is getting to me, right?
Mm-hmm.
And my blood pressure was too high. Well, I hadn't taken my medicine that day because I thought, oh my gosh, because I take a blood pressure medicine. I'm like, I don't want to have to run to the bathroom while
Mm-hmm.
she's doing this thing, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I didn't
Mm-hmm.
take it. So I knew that. But so then she said, I'm not going to be able to do it. I said, wait a minute. Just let me sit still, because I do practice. And I told her that I practice meditation
Mm-hmm.
and yoga. And so sure enough, they let me. They didn't. I told her 10 minutes. She gave me about 4 minutes, and then she was talking through half of that. But because I do it every day,
Right.
because this happened in February,
Okay.
and because I do the meditation every day, I was able to block her out even when she was trying to talk to me. Like, I told you I need to. But anyway, And then she came back and she took my blood pressure again. And then they realized, well, maybe we should use a bigger cuff. Yeah, use a bigger cuff. Hello. And so it was a combination of the two things. But I brought my blood pressure down enough that she didn't have any worries about going and doing the, it was oral surgery.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I did that through meditation.
That is powerful, Ileane.
And I swear, Barbara, I just thought about that just then.
Thank you, universe. Thank you, universe. Because you're right. I'll have conversations about stuff and it's like, I totally forgot about that story until it comes up. And that's why I'm like, there is a force out here greater than me. And I just say thank you, because you're right. And it's those little simple things. And that's why I wanted to have these conversations, because you were able to go to a place of peace, even with her talking.
That's right.
And that is what I really want people to get from this. When you practice by yourself or guided or however you practice, when you practice, it is a practice, because the more you practice, you can pull on that tool when you need it, and it comes and it allows you to do what you need to do. And that's really, I think, the power behind meditation, mindfulness, whatever kind of tool. If you can use it when you need it, that's what is the most powerful aspect of it. So
absolutely.
I just want to ask you, do you have any recommendations for people that may be thinking about meditation? What would you say to them?
Well, I think that, one of the things that may prevent people from doing meditation is finding that quiet space. I mean, I think some of us may take that for granted, like myself. Like I said, my daughter's 35. I basically live alone. I do have a friend. He comes when he feels like it, but he doesn't live here. So it's easy for me, because I do it in the morning, because in the mornings I'm by myself. And I think that once you get to that point where, when everybody's gone, kids are asleep or whatever the situation, okay, I'm going to try this meditation thing now. So if you've never tried it before, and if you found that that's one of the reasons why it's like, when do I ever get time to myself? That when you do get that time to yourself, or even, it doesn't even have to be at home. It could be, maybe you decide, you know what, I'm going to go to the library, because even though you're not by yourself, people won't, for the most part, bother you.
Right.
Maybe you'll try it then. Maybe you'll get into one of these apps, the Calm app or Stop Breathing thing, or you'll just turn Barbara on one of her Instagram TVs, and you just close your eyes, and you can start that way.
Well, thank you. That is a great way to move into it. And I share one of my tips I share with people. We all have to go to the bathroom. And so when you're in the bathroom, just sit for a couple extra minutes and just sit there and breathe. And you just meditate it. I try to make it as simple as possible. And that's it. It doesn't have to be 10, 15 minutes. It's just moving into the space of knowing that I can do this wherever I am, because the peace is right here inside of me. I just have to tap into it.
That's right.
Well, I'm going to let you go. Please let them know where they can reach you online or wherever you want to put your information out there. Thank you so much for sharing with us your practices and the things that are beneficial about meditation, and just you in general, because your energy and your spirit, I just love you, Ms. Ileane. So let us know where we can find you online.
Thank you, Barbara. Okay, guys, all you have to do is type my name in Google. But the thing is, it's tricky. So I'm going to spell it. It's Ileane. One more time. Ileane. You type that in Google, you're going to see my YouTube. You'll see probably my Anchor station, whatever you see, Instagram, LinkedIn. Follow me there.
Follow her, stalk her like I do.
And that's okay with me. Thank you so much for having me on, Barb. And you have a enjoy the rest of your afternoon. And I'll be looking forward to your IGTV stories and doing some meditations with you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Be well.
Okay. Bye-bye.